Hello everyone and welcome back to another round of Tuesday Night Legacy where we showcase Magic's most powerful formats. Tonight we're doing round 3 from April 26th. This is Tempo Doomsday versus Ruby Storm. Doomsday has kind of an advantage here as it also has its tempo plan where it can just swing in for beats with things like the Malevolent Hermit can get there sometimes, and the Murktide Regent, but it also has that backup plan of just doing a Doomsday and winning out of nowhere with that combo finish. Whereas AJ is all in on this make a bunch of mana and go off plan with things like Berkey getting a bunch of extra mana, casting bonus round to be able to get a bunch of extra spells, and then of course just casting Desperate Ritual, Manamorphose, Seething Song, things like that, and it can finish the game with either Empty the Warrens or a Grape Shot, or just a giant, where is it? A giant Banefire. All right, so let's see which one gets to combo off first. So we have AJ starting off the play here, throwing down a Lotus Petal and passing the turn. We also see a Lotus Petal from Max. Max, although, wants to protect the combo plan here, so he fires off a mainboard Duress. Can't take a Simian Spirit Guide. Oh, that's the only card he can't take. So Max taking a look at what he has options here for. There's Jessica's Will. Where's that? That can create a lot of mana or allow you to go a little bit deeper into the deck. There's also the Helm of Awakening, which can just kind of decrease the generic mana of everything in play. Let's see here. What was this card that he ended up taking? The Reckless Impulse, exiling the top 2 cards. Yep, just 2 mana, basically get 2 more spells. Trying to slow down AJ from being able to combo off. AJ throwing down the F6, indicating that he has no responses to whatever Max decides to do this turn. Passing priority all the way to end of turn. Max just resolving a Brainstorm here and then doing the Doomsday. So cutting out a little bit of the chaff here. Max went and got 5 cards out of his deck, made that his deck, gave up half of his life total and exiled the rest. AJ was able to see all of those cards because they were in exile, but Max is confident that he can win with this 5-card pile. The tempo list doesn't win immediately with the 5-card pile. In very few situations it can, but Max is actually going to try and use Temporal Mastery to take several turns in a row to give himself his combo finish here, finishing with the Thassa's Oracle. Although it is still AJ's turn, so AJ trying to think how he's going to dig himself out of this hole. Cast a Seething Song and a Desperate Ritual. He does have 5 red mana floating. Max tapped out, but that does not mean that he does not have anything to do. Fired off that Jessica's Will, exiling the top 3 cards, but none of them were particularly useful here. Gets the free Lotus Petal, but the other 2, not super helpful. Decides to cast the Helm of Awakening, making everything cost less, so was able to cast the Pirates, or the Reckless, where did that card go? Was it the Pirates Pillage? No. He was able to exile 2 more cards. Maybe should have been a little bit more familiar with this deck. Oh, the Reckless Impulse, that was it. But it did not come to fruition. Nothing was there. And so we saw Max just flip over and play the Thassa's Oracle, and we are on to game 2 here. Starting with a strong start on AJ's side, we're seeing the Desperate Ritual. Several mana buys him. What is that card you have in your hand, Max? Not 100% certain what this is. The Pirates Pillage? In any case, I apologize for that, viewer. It is gone now. Did catch that Force of Negation. So not sticking around. We're seeing some exile off the top of the deck. A Berkey. Berkey being a very useful card for the Ruby Storm list. Exiled until next turn, can play it. Once that turn comes up, But we see a counterbalance come down on Max's side. Counterbalance, a fairly useful card, especially against the combo deck, usually used for, the control fight, but being able to just kind of flip over randomly and catch cards that the Storm player needs to resolve is actually a huge thing, which is exactly what happened here. It was a blind counterbalance off the top, which countered that Burning Wish, which stopped AJ from going any farther on that turn. So we do just have a Burgie in play here and a Malevolent Hermit also in play. Malevolent Hermit being an excellent card in this situation, being able to counter basically anything AJ is going to throw down. So AJ has to think about his turns now. He does have a Lotus Petal in hand, but there's no real point in throwing it down as it's a free storm counter for him. Let's see how big Burgie is. Burgie just a 3/3, so Burgie can attack if AJ wants to take that route. Okay, we're seeing 4 mana being floated, taking 2 damage. Casting the bonus round? Indeed. Whenever player casts an instant or sorcery, player copies it. Alright, so we see bonus round being resolved. AJ only looking at a Seething Song. Attacking for 3. So I guess that was a trick there, kind of a little bit of a bluff. Max did sacrifice the Malevolent Hermit to stop the bonus round from going off, and Max goes ahead and Doomsdays here. Trying to set up for the win. We see Burgie having 3 life, or 3 power, so if he attacks, AJ did draw a Wish. So basically, AJ just has to do the math to try and get this extra damage across. That was the Pirates, or the Reckless Impulse going off there. So there's the Wish. The Wish casting for 3. Oh, Brazen Borrower was a 3 cast. Okay, so the Wish is in exile right now. Wish being able to get anything from the sideboard. Basically waiting until next turn. So we're going to see, yep, the Burgie go back to hand. And now this is the turn if it's going to happen. Seething Song for 5 mana. AJ thinking he needs to fire off this Wish, but he doesn't know what's on top of the deck. But the chances of it being another 3 cast are pretty low. So the Wish goes off. Max says, I'm not revealing the top with my counterbalance. And we see the Banefire. If X is 5 or more, it cannot be countered. We're seeing, oh, there's no response. So AJ gets that game, barely squeaks it out. Very, very, very close. I don't think X was 5 or more, but I guess AJ did not have either a force in hand or the correct CMC on top of the deck. So we are on to game 3. Just a ponder from AJ, or a ponder from Max. AJ going off a little bit here. We see a Rite of Flame into a Desperate Ritual. Helm of Awakening into a Burning Wish. Burning Wish going and grabbing from something from the sideboard, or not. We're going to see the Force of Negation going to catch that, exiling the Brazen Borrower. Now, Helm of Awakening, as good as it is for the Ruby Storm deck, it does make everything cost 1 generic less. So this Malevolent Hermit gets to come into play for 1. Oh, I missed that sideboard card there. I think it dealt 1 damage to each creature in play. Not 100% what that was. Sorry about that. AJ's running a little bit of his own list here. I had to pull one online, so it's not exactly what it needs to be, or exactly what is being played here, but I recognize that as one of the modal flip cards that deals 1 damage to either each or target creature in play. And that was going to get rid of the Malevolent Hermit, but now we have the Benevolent Geist in play. 2/2. that makes all non-creature spells you control uncounterable. I don't think that second list line is very relevant for the Ruby Storm list, but he does have a 2/2 flyer. And we're seeing the Doomsday for the third time in this round being cast. Guess I missed getting the chaff off of this one. Max quickly looking through the deck, setting up his 5 cards. We can see the Thassa's Oracle, of course, with the Temporal Masteries. 2 more damage. AJ praying for a miracle off the top of the deck. Looks like it was a desperate ritual. Hopefully he had some kind of search effect in his hand. There is a bonus round I'm seeing. Oh, he passes it back. We see the Temporal Mastery. 2 more damage. Untap, Temporal Mastery. A Consider, which is going to bin a card. And then untap, Cavernous Souls, Thassa's Oracle. That's the game. As always, thank you for watching, and hopefully you liked this video. If you want to see more content like this, consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and you can get a whole lot more content like this. I think we have upwards of 70, 60 videos now. If you have a specific deck you'd like to see us get on camera, please leave that in the comments and we can try and make that happen. We have so many players at the store and access to a whole lot of stuff, so if there's something that's missing or you just really, really want to see a deck, let me know and we'll try and make it happen. Finally, our next video is going to be 8 cast versus High Tide. We'll see you then.